Hello, Piano Fiks. This is the Steinway that you've just restored for me. This is the piano number. Cosmetically, the piano is very good, as you might expect, but there's some really important things I want to mention. And first of all, the bass isn't nearly as, if you listen to the break point here, it's quite pronounced. You did one for me recently, you did a Steinway B recently for me, and much less pronounced. And here, the tone is not as rich as it should be, not as warm. I will play you a video of the last one you did for me. I hope you can hear that, but the depth of the bass is much richer than this one. It might be something to do with the hammer voicing. I was believed that you have voiced the hammers, and I can see the marks on them, but there's lots of variety. If you listen, for instance, now although they've been voiced on the shoulders, clearly they need more voicing. That sounds very bad, and this breakpoint one is not very even. Also, the damping is not as clear as it should be. Let's compare it with another piano. This is a Steinway Model M that somebody else restored for me in Poland. This is a Model C that somebody else restored. And back to the one you've done. So it's not very well finished off really, and the bass here, as I say, that's not as rich as I expect it to be. Here's the Bechstein Model C, and even that's warmer and richer than the Steinway. Another thing I always insist on is that the half wedge dampers don't go up to about note 52 if possible. These only go up to note 40, 41, 43. This is the Bechstein up to note 51. So I always ask for more wedge dampers to be put on, more half wedge dampers. So the front is flat and the back is wedged. Looking at the hammers, I can see that they have been voiced here. You can see the voicing marks, but clearly at the top on this one was too bright. It needs more voicing, very much so. You can see the holes there, so it has been voiced there, but it hasn't been finished off properly. I paid a lot more for the voicing, so would expect that to be finished. Otherwise, we could have done it ourselves. So I'm not very happy with that. I'm not sure whether these shanks are Renner or Arbel. And are the Hamels Arbel or Renner? I'd like to know about that as well. With regard to touch weight and regulation, it's about right. This is 50 grams. If anything, 49 grams would be good, but 50 is okay. And they're more or less consistent, so thank you for that. And the top end, you have a bit lighter, which is good, and the bottom end a bit heavier, which is good. So that's fine. Thank you very much. Finally, the tuning pins are very big. If there's a new rest plank, they could be smaller, but this is the problem I have with all Polish restorers, seem to put tuning pins that are bigger than necessary in. This is the Model M that I had restored by somebody else, and that is slightly smaller, but still bigger than it needs to be. And the Bechstein here too, slightly smaller, but could be smaller still. And going back to the B, they are the thickest, so really there's no need for that. If there's a new rest plank, they could be thinner, and would appreciate that. Then the next person who restrings it can put bigger pins in. So that's a restoration of a Model B grand piano that you've just done for me. The touch is excellent. I think if anything better than the last one. But certainly as good as. But the voicing varied, as you can hear, and the bass, which is the most important thing, and the break point is not good at all. That's one side of the break point, the other side, and that's not good. And the bottom bass strings, now I pay a lot more for your restoration than I do from the other companies, and really expect perfection. Now, I would like to use you again though, because I can see that your standard is generally good. So I'm hoping to send, ideally, 2 or 3 Model Bs or similar, Bosendorfer possibly as well. So hopefully we can come to some arrangement with that. I'm not happy to pay for voicing that isn't properly done. And the bass here, as I say, that isn't nearly as good as the bass on the last one you did for me. The last one had much better bass. But thank you in general for the work, which is cosmetically obviously good. The dampers I mentioned could do with more wedge dampers here. And the damping here is very bad really. Could be a lot better. So let's talk about that and see what we can manage in the future. I wouldn't mind the idea of coming and visiting you and just talking about things in general. Thank you very much.